So as mentioned in the end of the last episode, things are going to be going a little bit differently with how we do these seasons. Basically, the second season ran for about 12 episodes, and quite frankly, if we keep up that sort of rate, Football Manager 24 will be out by the time we even hit the Football League. So we're going to start off each season by going through quite a big chunk of the season, and we'll come back for our first proper game. So with that being said, there is a lot of games to get through today, and then we've got quite a tough opponent for our match. So let's just get into it. So it has been quite a while since we were last here. I did go over this at the end of the last episode, but I'll just quickly go over it again in case you missed it. Due to how long the last season took to get through, I think it was 13 episodes or so, we're going to start making the seasons a little bit shorter. I'm aiming for sort of 7 to 8 episodes per season while we're in the lower leagues at the very least. That might increase drastically at the higher divisions, just, depending on how we're going. If it's a tough season, then we obviously won't just be skipping over a load of games at once. But basically, I'm going to do the first game of the season at the end of the off-season overall, like signing loads of players, getting rid of players. And then we're going to skip forward a decent amount and just get into the thick of it rather than playing every single early cup game against teams in divisions below us that we've got very little chance of losing against. So yeah, that's what we've done. And so this is where we currently stand. We're in 4th place, but we have only played 8 games and got 19 points from them. Top place has played 12 and got 20. So we are in a very good position, all things considered. We've played by far the fewest games. We've played the fewest games in the league and quite a few less than many of the teams. There's a couple on 9, as you can see, like Chasetown and Bishop's Cleeve. But we are in a very good spot. Obviously, these games in hand are going to be very important. If we lose them all, it's obviously not going to go great. But I cannot complain at all of how this season has been going. So, taking a look at how things have gone. Obviously, we lost 2-2 in the last episode. But after that, we went on a pretty decent run. I'm not going to go through every game's goals just because there are quite a lot. But we beat Town Rangers 3-1. Yeboah, Rule and Halliwell getting on the score sheet. Then Market Drayton, we came up against Lusaquena and managed 4 goals. It was an absolutely incredible performance from him, stepping up. Then we came up against Sleaford Town, Yeboah and Lusaqueno doing very well to get us the victory there after, Rocker scored quite early against us. Then we come up against Loughborough D. D stands for Dynamo, which is, quite a cool name at the very least. Yeboah and Ezard got us through that. Ezard's actually been playing really well. You might have actually seen he's one of the highest rated players. He hasn't played lots of games, but when he has played, he has been very good for us, which for a completely free loan signing, I cannot complain at all. So after the Loughborough game, we come up against Harborough, and we did lose 2-1. They were a better side than us. No one really shown up. I mean, Yeboah got a goal, but that's pretty much the only good thing I could say about the game. Then we got matched up against Bury in the FA Cup first qualifying round. I very nearly came back for this, and if it was probably the 2nd or 3rd round, I think I would have, because Bury are obviously a giant side in real life. I mean, they've gone bust and they've sort of had to reform in a lower division, but they have got a massive fan base still. We've got 1,142 people in that match. That's literally almost 4 times as many as we had in the FA Vase final at Wembley last season. And we just managed to get a draw against them. It was 2 early goals, and to be honest, not a whole lot in it after that point. But then in the rematch, this was actually a pretty crazy... You know what, I am going to show the goals. I wasn't going to show the goals for this one, but why not? This started off with an insane Adebayo free kick, I think. Yes. Just curls one in the 70th minute from all the way out there. And then it wasn't long before they did the exact same thing to us. It's a little depressing. But then 83rd minute, Wilson puts through Moncrief. Oh no, that's not Moncrief, that's Lusaqueno anyway. Rule puts through Lusaqueno. Sorry, it's been like 2 days since I recorded this, since I played this game. Then Gifford puts it through. Lusaqueno gets on it again, takes it round the keeper, and just a very comfortable finish. And then for the final goal in the 93rd minute, just to secure it beyond all hope, Lusaqueno once again, the oddest touch you're ever going to see a man take, but beautiful finish into the top corner. And then that game sort of signalled the good times coming, quite frankly. We came up against Stamford next, and it was just a comfortable 1-0 victory. Matty Lusaqueno getting the goal again. Then Glossop came to town, 5-2, with Ephraim Yeboah getting 4 of them, who just absolutely played them off the park on his own, quite frankly. Then we came up against Tonbridge Angels, and I did actually record a little bit of this game at the time because it blew my mind, so I'm just going to play that now. I mean, one of the FA Cup qualifying rounds here, we come up against Tonbridge Angels, who are in the Vanarama National South, and it's been A very close game up until this point. A few good chances either way. We've just scored this goal. Yeboah's put us in front. We're just sat here eating my dinner. So first of all, long ball goes completely unchallenged. Keeper misses it completely, tries to control it, gives it to Yeboah, and just slots it into an open net. That is insane. And amazingly, that is the biggest scalp we have claimed so far on this save. Then after that game, we came up against Waltham Abbey. Ezard, Rule, and Yeboah, absolutely destroying them between them. Came up against Morpeth in the Integro Cup second round. This was quite the game. I mean, a 4-3 victory. Most of the goals were in the first half. It was a relatively uneventful second half, but it was a little nervy just to concede that many in a match, quite frankly. And the nerves continued against Sevenoaks. This was one of the worst first half performances I've ever seen us put on. And to the point that, well, you know what, I actually recorded a little bit this one now I think about it, so let's just play that clip as well. I swear this cup run might be the luckiest thing I've ever done in my life. We were 2-0 down at half time against Sevenoaks. I threw my first water bottle of the save, and it looks like we're back into it. Just gone 3-2 up. Powell with a free kick. Waldo misses the header. Moncrief hits the post, and S puts it in the open net. And despite a late threat of a comeback, we are through that round as well. After that clip was recorded, Yeboah did get a third goal and to make us 4-2 up, and then they instantly replied with one of their own, but it wasn't quite enough, and I think that might have been the last highlight of the game, actually, thinking about it. Then after that, Histon came to town, 2-1 victory, pretty comfortable. I mean, more comfortable than the scoreline would suggest. Then Swindon's, what's this S? Supermarine. I always forget that. I always think Stourports, I don't know why. Swindon Supermarine came to town, 2-0 victory, 2 early goals, and the game sort of fizzled out from there. Then in the last game, Sporting Calsa, we absolutely tore them a new one. I've been messing around with my formation a little bit, actually. And you might remember we did this in a couple of cup games. Well, I think you might have been against Highgate United when we had those mental couple of games against them in the cup last season. And we ended up playing a formation very similar to this, and it's just working out really well. So yeah, I'm very happy with that result. We scored 6 goals out of 8 shots on target, and as you can see from the XG graph, they just did absolutely nothing, it felt like. The eagle-eyed people among you might also see we had a new signing join us. Jordan Piggott here. He's joining us mostly as a right back because Josh Barrett has been struggling for fitness quite a bit, and I've realised we don't really have a good backup. We've been playing Button Foreshort out on the right quite a few games so far, while I tried to source someone to come in and replace Barrett, or at least provide competition to Barrett. I mean, Jordan Piggott's one of those players that you look at and at first glance you think, well, he's pretty bad, but pretty much everything he needs is like a 9 or above. I mean, obviously, 6 aggression, 7 concentration isn't fantastic, but if I compare him to Josh Barrett, for instance, Piggott is basically just a better player. He's slightly weaker mentally and slightly slower, but apart from that, I think Piggott has been a very good replacement for him, and it's even more cover at centre-back for us. So yeah, this is how we've mostly been lining up. People have been moving around quite a bit. Ollie Gofford has been playing midfield, defensive midfield, centre-back. He's been all up, I might stick him up front one game just to see if he can do that as well, because he's been pretty outstanding in every position he's played in so far. Striking duties have actually been almost entirely taken over by Ephraim Yeboah. The man's played for us 7 times in the league with 8 goals, but as you can see at the bottom, he's played 8 cup starts and 2 sub appearances. He's got 16 goals in those games. So he has been absolutely incredible. It got to the point where recently Moncrief was complaining that he wasn't getting enough game time. And that sort of tells you how good Yeboah has been, because we have relied incredibly heavily on Cameron Moncrief in recent years, and being able to put the 2 of them up front has been absolutely unbelievable. In fact, just an example of them 2 being fantastic together, this Sevenoaks game that I did record a little bit of, this is how we started out. We had Lusaquena up front on his own. Nothing really came of it. I mean, we barely even got a chance in the first half, it felt like. And then I switched to my new formation at half time, after throwing a water bottle, chucked Moncrief and Yeboah up front, and they absolutely ran the show. Even the S goal, I think that fell to Yeboah first in the clip, and he hit the post, which then obviously it fell for S. So yeah, it's been pretty incredible between the 2 of them. So that brings us to today's game. We are in the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup. I didn't actually touch on cup progression too much during all this, so let's just have a quick look at those actually first. Integro League Cup second round, we got through the first round. pretty comfortably against Galston. Got through the second round against Morpeth. Third round is against Marsk United. That's coming up in about a couple of weeks. The FA Trophy, we've got through all the qualifying rounds, which there was more than I thought they'd be. I actually was genuinely reading each match thinking that we were just in the first round, the second round, and the third round. But no, it was the first qualifying round against Gossip, the second qualifying round against Walton Abbey, and then the third qualifying round was against Swindon Supermarine there. And now we're in the first round. So we're up against someone in the Southern Premier South. Yep, so that's the same tier as us. I'm not too worried. I don't know if I should be, but quite frankly, we've dealt with most of the teams so far, so I think we've got a decent chance of going quite deep in this competition. I'm not sure when the bigger clubs come in, because I feel like this might be like the FA Cup, like the National League teams might come in at the third round or something. But we'll leave that as a surprise, I suppose. And then as for the FA Cup, we are obviously just going into the fourth qualifying round. This is a big moment, because if we win this, we'll be in the first round proper for the first time ever. But the fourth qualifying round was where all the Vanarama National League teams have come in. So you've got your likes of Hartlepool, Maidenhead, who else we've got here? Chesterfield, Boreham Wood, like some genuinely quite big teams in comparison at the very least. So coming up against Blythe Spartans from the Vanarama National North is probably the best we could have hoped for. I mean, there's a couple of teams, like if we'd come up against Soham Town Rangers or Bashford United, that would have been way better, obviously. But we can't all be that lucky, so you've just got to play what's in front of you, haven't you? And I am a little bit concerned about how this will go. So, Blythe Spartans, who have they got as a key player? Corey McKeown. And yeah, he is pretty good, isn't he? I mean, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he's still relatively fast, good at crossing, good at dribbling. I mean, this guy would walk into our team. If I compare him to like Rule, who also plays out on the left wing quite a lot. Yeah, I know which polygon I'm going to be taking there, given the choice. Rule's got him beaten on speed and aerial ability, which is probably the least important thing for most wingers. But at the same time, he is also getting paid 10 times as much, so I can understand. I mean, they've got Amadou Bakayoko here, who spent most of his time playing proper league football, and he's worth 400,000. I mean, looking at him, I disagree that he's worth 400,000. I mean, I think he's a much different kind of player to like your Yeboahs and your Moncriefs. But if I compare him to Yeboah, then obviously he is better at most things. But like speed, attacking, and technical, which are probably, I would say, the three most important parts of a striker's game. Obviously aerial ability, physical, and whatnot does help quite a bit. I mean, I suppose I'm trying to fight a losing battle, I feel like, here, but I'm quite happy with this matchup overall. I mean, yes, they're obviously two very different players, but I think we might even be able to nick a goal here. We just need to hope he doesn't score like 8 past us first. One other signing for the club, quite a big name, in fact, actually, in the world of football. We've got a new director of football, and I wasn't going to sign a director of football, quite frankly. I don't need one. We don't play with a director of football. I'm quite happy to search through hundreds and hundreds of players myself to try and find someone. But when the opportunity comes to have Peter Crouch come and join your team, I felt like I couldn't really turn it down. 43-year-old coming as a director of football. He's not a great director of football. I've given him a few responsibilities, but £60 a week to have a legend of the game, I feel like that was an opportunity I couldn't really pass up. And, maybe he could teach Yeboah how to do the robot when he celebrates. Who knows? The only other, transfer news of any note that's happened, Reece Oliver went out on loan, kicked off that he wasn't getting played enough and decided to come back and then instantly went out on loan to somewhere else instead. And Devontae Morton has gone out. He hadn't really played for us this season. Or played at all, actually. I thought I'd brought him on as a sub in one game, but maybe I just changed my mind. And yeah, he's definitely not good enough for this team anymore. He was a good third choice, but when our third choice is now Matty Lusaqueno, who is by far a superior player, I feel like it's probably right to just push Devontae Morton out the door and just have these three. So yes, it is actually time for the match against Blythe Spartans now. We'll have to see how this goes, because I am a little bit nervous about us get this. This is probably going to be the end of our cup run. I know it's not all about the money, but what is the prize money if we do get knocked out? Only 3.2 thousand, like it's the whole way through. Once you get to the fourth qualifying round, it's 3.2, 3.2, 3.2. You just get 3.2 thousand for losing any round up until before the semi-final. And then you get 500,000. That seems like an absolutely insane jump to me. But if we get through this round, that's 9.5 thousand, and then there's always the chance we'll get a relatively lucky draw in the next round. And I mean, 42,000 could really help us. That would be insane. So fingers crossed we can make something happen, but I'm obviously not confident that's going to be the case. And as for the team lineup for today, I think this is what we're going to go with. We've got Jackson in goal, Barrel, Gofford, Button for short, and Piggott across the back. Then, I don't know what order to do this in now. Ratchford and Helliwell in centre midfield, S to the right of them, with Rule out in front on the left, and then Moncrief and Yeboah up front. It's a pretty similar situation to how we've been playing in a few of the recent games. The only thing that does worry me is there's a lot of players on heavy workload or who aren't fully fit. So I'm a little nervous, but I do feel like this is the kind of game where we really need to just put our strongest foot forward and try and just get a result. I'm a little nervous, but let's just get into it. Blind Spartans are lining up in a 4-2-3-1. Emego! We are lining up in our, what is it, asymmetrical 4-4-2, I suppose you'd call that. I'm not convinced that is the right name. Either way, we're starting off with a Kendall throw-in. McKeown gets it to Coyle. Bakayoko's in the middle, and the 4th minute and 53 seconds in. And the big man gets on the end of it. This is a bit depressing. Not a great start from us. And it was just all a little bit too easy. There was just no real pressure on anyone involved in the goal. I suppose Barrel did go for that header. But that's about it. That's the best thing I can say. Got Rosie O'Donnell taking a goal kick. She puts it slightly over. I'm not even sure who that is. Why do I know that name? 1,779 people in attendance today. That's absolutely incredible. Ratchford with a long ball over. Nothing comes of it. We're going to get the ball back in, and they are. Bakayoko, can someone take out the incredible Hulk they've got up front? Oh, Yeboah gets the ball back and loses it, but S managed to pick it up. Gets into Moncrief, and it's 1-1. What a pass. That does count, doesn't it? Yeah, he was miles onside. Why am I worrying? I'm trying not to get super excited because I'm ready for heartbreak. Yeboah does brilliantly to get the ball back there and then kind of embarrassingly loses it in a terrible fashion. S with just a fantastic sight there. Slots it through all three of them. Beautiful finish. Game on. Right, after those 2 early goals, there's been like 20 minutes of absolutely nothing since. Make that 25 minutes. Maybe make that half an hour. Okay, yeah, they've got a goal. They've got a corner. August. Tommy Jackson, you're going to give me a fucking heart attack. It was well cleared off the line by whoever that was. Yeah, okay. Someone just saved us from a goal there after Tommy Jackson just flew out. Look at the XG from just that one chance. That is crazy. We've had 2 shots all game. And we both only had 2 shots, but somehow they've just got in a lot of dangerous positions, I suppose. I don't think I'm going to change anything. It feels weird that Yeboah's only on 6.5, but I suppose we've only actually seen him for 1 highlight. Okay. Could we be taking this to a... I don't want to say to a replay. We've still got half an hour to play. That's suicidal thoughts almost there. Long ball up from Jackson. Just no one even goes for it. Coyle gets the pass to McKeown. Kendall, Coyle. Kendall going down the wing. He finds McKeown again. This could be very dangerous. Oh, it's just snuck in. I thought that was going to stop on the line then. Oh, coming off that left wing. Their left, our right. Whenever they seem to be, whenever any team seems to be attacking from this side, they just slot it straight past Jackson with like 100% effectiveness, and he always does that exact dive, and it never works. Okay, we need to do a bit of a demand more, I think, here. I'm going to go a bit more attacking, which I had pulled it back a little bit just because obviously we're against a much better side. Right, we need to change things up a bit. What can we do? Ratchford, you can go to an advanced playmaker on support. Halliwell, maybe back to a Mazzala role, and we'll put... No, you know what? Not on attack, though. That seems a bit over the top. We'll put S up a bit. We're going to go for it a bit. We do need a goal. I will probably pull it all back if something encouraging does happen. Is it encourage? Will that help? I don't know if that will help. Oh, there's a highlight. We'll see if that helps. That doesn't look like it's helped. This doesn't appear to have helped. Oh no. McKeown's beating him on the left again. Gets the ball into O'Donnell and he smashes it wide. Oh my god. let's just go very attacking, which basically guarantees we're not going to get another highlight. That's depressing. I mean, look at that second half. We did absolutely nothing, and they just crawled up the XG table, chance after chance. Oh, I really was hoping we could have got through that. So yeah, obviously a very disappointing result overall, but you know, it could have been a lot worse, all things considered. We're playing a team a good few divisions above us. I mean, Vanarama National North is the 6th tier. We're in that 8th tier now. I mean, we're doing well in the 8th tier and beating teams in the 7th tier relatively comfortably. But they're up in 10th. They're a very average National North team, so I can't really be too disappointed at the loss, but yeah, that one still hurts. I suppose the insane cup comebacks we were having had to end at some point. So to get over that disappointing result, I suppose we will look forward to what the next match will be. We've got a couple of matches up against relatively poor opposition. You know, I'm going by early season league positions, so it's not perfect science. But Chasetown in 18th, Carlton in 9th, Whitchurch Alport in 19th. They should be wins. They might not be, but they should at least be wins. Bracknell and Mask are both our tier. It's just not as exciting as coming up against a Vanarama National North side, obviously. So we're going to save that cup run for potentially later in it, I'm hoping. I have actually, looking through these we've got God Manchester Rovers in 12th, Boldmere in 13th, Hinckley in 11th, Corbytown in 20th, Leighton Town in 10th. Again, all of those should be relatively easy wins. You know, I'm going to say all this and we're going to come back next time and there's going to be like 6 losses here, but hopefully not. And Antsy in 2nd. So that's the game I've got my eye on as probably a very good one to come back for, because I've seen Antsy quite a few times across the save already. I don't think we've had any real dealings with them. Transfers. No, I think I've looked at a few Antsy players and they've just always been... Like, why do I know Antsy so well? We haven't played them yet, have we? We had a friendly against them in the first season, but that's not really relevant. No. But yeah, I think looking at it, that might be the game that we come back for. Also, we're their, like, 4th league game on the schedule, whereas we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's our 9th. So we're definitely going to be catching up with the games played statistic in the league. We're now on 8, and the next lowest is God Manchester Rovers on 10. There's a couple on 10. Hopefully, with all these games in hand, we'll be coming back to a relatively good league position, but we'll just have to see. Like I said, I've got my eye on Antsy. If we get through the cup rounds and then that ends up getting pushed forward a bit and the games might get delayed, so hopefully Antsy is not one of them. I think that's going to be the plan for now. This episode's obviously getting quite long, so I'm just going to leave it there, I think. We obviously will be back next time. Hopefully we'll be in a good position and won't absolutely hate my life. I'm actually recording this outro as the first time I've loaded the game up since the patch that has changed the match engine, seemingly quite significantly. So I'm a little bit nervous about this run, but you know, hopefully our quality on the pitch will be able to power through any team despite, you know, our main strategy of lumping the ball over the top of them being potentially nerfed. But either way, we'll have to find that out next time. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, maybe leave a like or comment down below. It really does help out a great deal and means a hell of a lot to me as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.